And he's focusing on his future with them, setting aside his racing. Of course, he's a second-generation racer here behind Ron Dwyer. As the field for heat race number 2 comes out on the Speedway now, up on the front row, Montgomery Tremont in the 115, and the 55, the double nickel car there, that's the Kingfish, Mike King. Row 2, the other 115, Matt Papello, and Josh Marcus, a feature winner here this year with a 91. Last week's winner, Colby Schroeder, comes next in row 3 with a 99. Kyle Armstrong in the 11 car, and our points leader, Brett Haas, in the 55 as we go to green. Field charging up into turn number 1, Montgomery Tremont, the Kingfish, Mike King, and the other 115, the Wind Construction 115 of Matt Papello. They're nose to tail there in the backstretch. Up through turns 3 and 4, Colby Schroeder working his way down to the inside. Brett Haas trying to come through as well into the top 5. He will go. Haas to the inside, following Colby Schroeder down low here in the east end. Off of turn number 2, it's still Montgomery Tremont with the lead. The Kingfish battling with him up into turn number 3. Mike King trying to grab the number 1 spot. Behind them, Matt Papello as they dig off the corner here. A stirring battle going on right up in front as Mike King and Montgomery Tremont. Tremont, a rookie campaigner here at the Dirt Car Big Block Modifieds. After his dad, Kenny Tremont, hung it up and retired last year, Montgomery steps into the 115 full-time Big Block ride. He's got the race lead here as Mike King goes after him up into turn 1. King working that inside groove, cannot make the pass. Behind them, Matt Papello digging hard. Off of turn number 2, Kyle Armstrong. The Newtown Pools 11A right there. The new Milford, Connecticut driver runs in 4th, and Colby Schroeder, last week's winner. But look at the bid now. To the inside comes the 11A. Kyle Armstrong. 4 laps are in, 4 to go. It's still Montgomery Tremont out in front. Armstrong has worked his way to 3rd. Here's Mike King with a good run down the back straightaway again, pouring it on. Looking to the inside of Montgomery Tremont. Tremont and King. Kyle Armstrong right there as well. A flash by down here in front. Continues to be an outstanding battle for the race lead here. Colby Schroeder now challenging Matt Papello. Schroeder making a bid outside the top 5. Runs the 55 of Brett Haas. Stirring racing going on. Hot battle up in front. On a summer's night here at the Valley in 2024 as the 2 to go sign comes out. Montgomery Tremont has been able to hold off every bid that Mike King, the Kingfish, has made coming at him. Now Kyle Armstrong going to make a bid for 2nd on the Kingfish up into turn 3. Mike King gaining ground up in the west end. Tremont looks like the car dialed in well here. We got a car smoking at the back of the field as the white flag flies. Looks like trouble in the engine department for the 91M of Josh Marcus. Marcus, a feature winner earlier this year. Brett Haas in trouble off of turn number 2. He slows a bit, gets it going again. Meanwhile, up in front, Kyle Armstrong makes that bid for 2nd. Checker flag about to come out here now. The win, qualifying heat race number 2, goes to Montgomery Tremont. Kyle Armstrong does get by the Kingfish. So Armstrong finishes 2nd, Mike King 3rd, Matt Papello 4th, and Colby Schroeder completing the top 5. And troubles in the engine department for the 91M of Josh Marcus. Marcus, who had won earlier this year on tribute night to his late uncle, George Marcus. The many-time champion here at the Speedway, George Marcus, was honored earlier this season, sportsman ranks, and Josh went out on that night and parked the 91M, the Marcus Brothers Racing car, in Victory Lane that night. We've got one more qualifying heat race to go for the Dirt Car Big Block Modifieds. Let's see how this one turns out. Up on the front row, another rookie driver, just like Montgomery Tremont, running for Rookie of the Year. Rob Maxson is running for Rookie of the Year with a 96 car. He hails out of Pownell, Vermont. Driving out of East Canaan, Connecticut is Chris Curtis. Dry Zone Racing Development 35 car, the CNC plumbing machine. That's Chris Curtis, double C there on the inside of the front row. Back in row 2 out of Stafford Springs, Connecticut comes the 10, the Wicked Power Sports car. That's Ryan Charland. Inside of him, Keith Flack. A great second place run last week. Then it's J.R. Hefner, the ACS Express, A. Colorusso and Son car. And then it's Mark Johnson, the White Knight, with the S&S Asphalt Paving number 9. Mike Engler in the 22, bringing up the rear as we go to green. Field charges up into turn number 1. Chris Curtis trying to get the advantage here in the east end. He'll get out ahead of the field off of turn number 2 with Chris Curtis leading down the backstretch. The rookie, Rob Maxson, blasting back up. Hanging tough right there in the number 2 spot. Keith Flack running behind him with J.R. Hefner next in line. And here comes Mark Johnson. Johnson swinging down low into turn 1. Mark Johnson makes his bid to the inside of the 74 of J.R. Hefner. Hefner looking pretty quick here at the 74. He runs there in that 4th place spot. They work here off of turn number 4. It's Chris Curtis in command right now with a good lead. Comfortable advantage for Chris Curtis out in front. Keith Flack all alone in second. The race for third as J.R. Hefner gets on around. Power move to the outside of Rob Maxson. And J.R. Hefner grabs the number 3 spot away with the A. Colorusso and Son 74 car. Here comes J.R. Hefner. He's taking over third. That'll put Rob Maxson back to 4th. Mark Johnson running in the top 5 as well. The White Knight with the S&S Asphalt Paving car making a bid for the number 4 spot off of turn 2 down the back straightaway. Here comes Johnson. Thought about high. Now he goes low to the inside, wheel to wheel with Rob Maxson up here in the west end. Mark Johnson and Rob Maxson leaning on each other off of turn number 4 at halfway. 4 laps are in and 4 to go. Racing room very tight down to the inside as Mark Johnson digs low on Rob Maxson. Maxson and Johnson continues hot and heavy battle for the number 4 spot up into turn 3. Now Johnson will ease by down low. He'll grab the number 4 spot away. So Mark Johnson's up to a 4th place run. That'll put Rob Maxson back to 5th. And he's being followed by the 10 there of Ryan Charland. Meanwhile, J.R. Hefner continues his march towards the front. Gaining ground, closing in on 2nd place, Keith Flack. The Ravenna Rocket, Keith Flack, and Gula Rector's in rigging 43 machine holds down that 2nd place spot. But J.R. Hefner is coming to him here with just 2 laps left to go. Race leader remains Chris Curtis out in front. But the race now is for 2nd. J.R. Hefner caught Keith Flack. And Keith Flack turned it up a notch and pulled away. Opened that gap back up here between 2nd and 3rd. White flag goes in the air now. One more lap around the Valley of Speed in this 3rd and final qualifier of the night for the Dirt Car Big Block Modifieds. It's Chris Curtis. Curtis in a strong run out in front. He jumped out to an early race lead. Built up a comfortable margin. And he's packed it right there the entire distance as he'll see the checker flag first. Chris Curtis with the win. Keith Flack finishes 2nd. J.R. Hefner in 3rd. Mark Johnson in 4th. And the rookie Rob Maxson comes home in 5th. So both Rookie of the Year contenders, Mark Montgomery Tremont and Rob Maxson, do well in their qualifying heat races, getting the job done, so to speak. But here, the win goes to Chris Curtis. Chris Curtis with the 35 cars got it done. So all of our qualifying is now done for the Dirt Car Big Block Modifieds, as well as all the other divisions, all the support classes. Everything is done qualifying-wise, and that means feature racing is what we have left to go. So all features, all the time. Coming up next, we'll start things off with the Super Street Stock division. You can see their features have already been lined up down on pit road. After the Super Street Stock feature is done, we'll go to the Limited Sportsman division for their feature. Then we'll get to the modifieds, the small block 358 modified